What's going on, guys? Welcome to Grind Time. This is Fantasy Football Grinder. Hey, guys, I wanted to do a show today since it's Friday. It's kind of kick back and all. I want to do a show today that kind of gives you guys, answer some questions from fans that just frequently ask questions. Things that people are asking before the season, before they draft, things that people want to know answers to. I'll give my opinion, and some of this, man, you got to remember too. Some of this, it is an opinion. If you disagree, you disagree. But this is my opinion. This is all based off the facts that I know, and the things that I've seen happen over the years, and things that get repeated pretty often. Every season, we see trends, and you can follow trends. Nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody knows, oh, this is going to happen. Nobody can guarantee anything. Anybody that tells you they can guarantee something, they're not telling you the honest truth. Nobody can guarantee you anything in fantasy. I can guarantee you that my draft kit that I'm offering for free today, that draft kit will give you a map. What you do with that map and what direction you take with that map, that is totally your decision. It's going to get you to the finish line if you follow it. But that's only, like I said, the draft, guys. I know everybody focuses heavy on it. The draft is 25% of the game. That's only 25%. That's only going to get you a quarter of the way to the championship. The championship in fantasy football takes work, and you're going to have to be on top of your game. You're going to have to be following people like me. You're going to have to be doing things that, keeping up with things. When I see something, I drop at least a photo, something to let you guys know what's going on, and then I'll incorporate it in every day's video. That way, you guys have some information. And we did have one line of news today that dropped. That was that David Njoku has requested a trade. We heard there was news that broke a few days ago. And everybody was told, everybody got notifications. Everything went off that the Jaguars traded Ngaku for Njoku. And so, everybody was putting it in their videos like, hey, Njoku is now a Jag. Well, he's not. I guess that deal fell through. So now he's no longer a Jag. He is still a Brown. And with Austin Hooper there, that puts a strain on Njoku, and he knows it. He knows that they're basically kicking him out of the door. But here's the deal, guys. I kind of favor Njoku. I favor the Njoku side on this. I'm going to side with the player on this. You look at the teams that they've had since they've gotten Njoku, they've always had great wide receivers and mid-tier quarterback play. As much as people want Baker Mayfield to be great, he's never shown signs of greatness. He's not. He's not. He's not going to. I don't believe Baker Mayfield is the guy. I don't. Last year I kind of had some hopes. Now that when he had OBJ, you have Njoku, you have Jarvis Landry, you have Kareem Hunt, you have Nick Chubb. How do you have all these targets and then you still don't produce as a top 5 quarterback? People give Dak problems because of his contract situation this year. He's a hot topic for everybody in the news. Where's Baker Mayfield? Dak hasn't had half the team Baker Mayfield's had. And you say offensive line. The Browns have always had a good offensive line. They've always been a top-tier offensive line. Dallas has had an offensive line that's been banged up for the last 3 seasons. And Frederick eventually retired this year. So I'm on the lines, depending on where Njoku goes, guys, I may tell everybody to draft Njoku. Follow the trends there. The Jaguars trading Ngaku for Njoku, that would have been key. That would have been the perfect trade for both teams. That's a win-win trade. And I don't know how that fell through. I really don't. That was the perfect trade for both teams. Maybe there were some draft picks in there that one of them disagreed with. Maybe somebody failed a physical. I don't know the situation there. I've been trying to figure out what happened there, and we're still not getting an answer. I don't know. That is the strangest thing. Everybody got wind that, hey, he's traded, and then all of a sudden, nah, he's not traded anymore. So, guys, we're going to follow. What I'm going to do today, there is a there's lists of different questions that fans are asking this year, and you're getting a lot of these questions over and over, and a lot of guys are answering them different ways. I'm going to give you guys my take on these things. Look, guys. If you're looking for a channel that's going to just slam out hot takes all day, this is not the channel for you. I'm not the hot take guy. I will do some interesting things. I will make some, I will pick my sleepers. I will pick guys that everybody else may not be picking. That's something I'm going to do. I'm a big fan of Henry Ruggs. I think Henry Ruggs is a guy that most people have forgotten about. And I do believe with the Raiders getting him as early as they did, I believe Henry Ruggs is a beast. I think he's going to turn up. He's got no competition. Jacobs is a runner. He's a runner. And Hunter Renfrow is not this guy that's just a dominant player. So I do believe Henry Ruggs got drafted where he deserved to be drafted. He was behind Jerry Jeudy for all these years, and he still managed to put up great numbers. And he's 17 yards per catch. I mean, what else do you want from the guy? What else do you want, guys? I honestly believe that he's a guy that's going to be able to put up big numbers. He can catch that ball that most people can't catch. He's very accurate with his hands. He knows where to go. He's got a pretty good route tree. When you see Ruggs out there, don't be surprised. He's a guy that nobody's going to draft. You make it. You're going to get him. If you want to go get him, like where I'm saying to get him his last round or last 3 rounds, if you get him right before your defense and kicker, that's fine. Don't go spend a high draft pick on Henry Ruggs. Don't do that. But I'm telling you, Henry Ruggs is going to be a beast. When he takes off, he's going to be a beast. And it may take him 3 or 4 games to get into the system because of the weirdness that we're going to have for preseason this year. You've already lost 2 weeks of preseason. We've already lost 2 weeks. We're probably going to lose some more. And I honestly, I'm a fan of Henry Ruggs. I like it. I like it. But that's the type of things I'm going to come at you with. I'm not coming at you with a bunch of hot takes, 4-string guys, and hoping for the best. No, we're not going to do that. I want you guys to know where I stand on things. When it comes to running backs, guys, pick the guys who we know are gonna perform. Just pick the guys you know are going to perform. Don't try to get too cute early on. It doesn't make sense to get cute early on. Why? You get cute early on and then you get burnt, and where you could have gotten a receiver, you couldn't have got a more, a solid running back, like somebody that's not, maybe not a great, maybe they're not going to boom on you every day, but they'll give you your points you need to survive and win. That's key. When I started looking at leagues of mine, and this is something that, is interesting to talk about, because when I started looking at leagues of mine that I've had the most problems with over the years, the most problems came when I got cute and I started grabbing guys that, are rookies, second-year guys that I didn't really do my homework on. I just jumped in and grabbed them because I heard their name a million times from other people. I didn't actually do the research, and I didn't actually look into them. I just grabbed them. And here we are, these guys are doing nothing. And I skipped on a guy like a James White that could have given me 10 points a week. 10 points a week ain't much, but it's a whole lot better than nothing. It's a whole lot better than the nothing I got out of this guy and ended up cutting him. So, guys, I wanted you guys to try to avoid players you're going to cut. I understand 99% of the time you're going to cut at least half of your team. You'll probably keep your starters you draft, but outside of that, a lot of times you're going to cut all but probably 5 to 7 players on your team. So go in knowing that you're going to make some cuts, but go in trying to get guys you're not going to cut, okay? So make smart moves, guys. If it's cool to grab a couple guys towards the end like a Henry Ruggs and, somebody that you know that you can get late that can perform, but it has a high possibility of performing at a high level. That's worth my time. Now, guys that running backs that we don't know, we've never seen, and then they're standing behind somebody that's already a monster. That's a problem. I am high on Jonathan Taylor, but I'm not high on a whole lot of other rookie running backs just because of their placement, because of where I got to get them. I'm high on J.K. Dobbins. I love J.K. Dobbins, but I'm not 5th, 6th round high on J.K. Dobbins. You give me J.K. Dobbins 8th, 9th round, I'm happy as can be, and that's where he deserves to be drafted. He deserves to be drafted as an RB4. Jonathan Taylor, an RB2, RB3. Really, RB3 is the goal for Jonathan Taylor. I would like you guys to have two solid running backs before you touch him. I know he's climbing in draft boards. I know that. But be smart because Mac is there. Mac's not gonna be Mac's not gonna be the starter. He's gonna eventually take over that spot from Mac. But you may have some weeks there where it puts you in a bind because you have a guy who's sharing some touches with Mac. And then you also Mac is a guy like Aaron Jones. He's getting to where he's on those last years of his contract. Aaron Jones is on his last year for sure, and these are guys that are going to really compete, you know. And I think, like in Green Bay, I think Aaron Jones. I think they may slip AJ Dillon in there. You know, I don't know. I know this. I know if Aaron Jones is out there, he's going to want to perform. If he doesn't perform well this year, he's not going to make his money. So Aaron Jones is kind of riding up my own mental list of players that I may go ahead and just start rising up on my draft kit, my draft boards. I think that with it being a contract year, and this is his last year on his contract, he needs an extension. And this is what he's got to do. He's got to go out and perform to get that extension. So you got one of two things will happen there. Okay, either Green Bay will see A.J. Dillon as a massive talent and a massive upgrade, and they'll just completely eliminate Aaron Jones, or Aaron Jones will perform above expectations in order to get that extension that he wanted this season. He didn't get it this season. He could have, but he didn't. Because he's still a year away from really needing that extension. So, guys, I would definitely keep an eye on Aaron Jones. He's fallen pretty late in draft boards, and if you get him, just like I said before, we got these restrictions this year that we have to keep in mind. So, if you do get him, you can grab A.J. Dillon late, and you'll have that guy. If something happens to Aaron Jones, you've got the man. Because I don't believe Jamal Williams will be the guy there if something happened to Aaron Jones. I just don't believe it. Jamal Williams had time. He's never done enough to really matter. He's never strung together 3 straight games, much less a season. So I would go A.J. Dillon there. But yeah, guys, I wanted to do a pretty cool little video today. I want to go around the league, and I want to answer one question for all 32 teams. I'm not going to go into major detail, but I am going to go, I'm going to answer a question, like one major fantasy question for all 32 teams. And you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comments. But this is what I think this will be pretty enlightening, and it'll give people some answers to some of these bigger name guys, because that's what we want. We want the big name guys to be locked in, and we want, as much as I want to focus on sleepers, because I know I win drafts after round 5. We do need to focus on these high-end picks. You definitely don't want to miss on high-end picks. But let's talk about a few things. This will be pretty cool because this is something I was reading up on, and I said, man, this will be great for a show. I was going to do a totally different show today, and then I said, no, this is perfect for a Friday show. Kick back, answer some questions from fans, and let's see what happens, The first off, we're going to start with the AFC East, and we'll start with the Buffalo Bills. One of the most common questions that is being answered is, will Josh Allen provide anything for Stephon Diggs that Kirk Cousins did not? This is pretty interesting to me. Look, he's had John Brown and he had Cole Beasley last year. Do I think Stephon Diggs is better than those two? I do. Do I think Jonathan Allen can put it together? I do. So, guys, if you're looking at Stephon Diggs, where he's being drafted typically is like 3rd, 4th round. I'm not touching him 3rd, 4th round. But if you get Stephon Diggs in the 5th or the 6th round, get him. Because I do believe he could be your wide receiver 2 and put up major numbers. We're not over here. We're not touching wide receivers till around 5 or 6. Well, really around 4. We're going to touch our wide receiver 1 somewhere between 1 and 4, and then we're going to go for a second receiver around 5 and 6. Now, if you're going for a wide receiver in rounds 5 or 6, and Stephon Diggs is sitting there, I definitely would grab him. You could see a Stephon Diggs turn into an Amari Cooper with Dak Prescott. And we've seen that. Once Dak got a target that has some sure hands, I wouldn't say sure hands, but he's got the talent. He got that talented receiver, and that was something Dak did not have in 17 and halfway through 18. He didn't have that talented receiver. Dez left, and Dez was hurt, and then there was all the stuff with Dez. He had Dez in 16 at pretty good health, and that's why they had that big season, 13-3. Dak put up good numbers. Zeke went off. You had all that because you had a well-rounded attack. You didn't have that for all of 17 and most of 18 until the Cooper trade. So I think Stephon Diggs could be a wide receiver 2 on your team, and I really think that he's a guy with Josh Allen that can put up some really good numbers, man. And so yes, definitely. If you can get Stephon Diggs round 5 or round 6, grab him there. Be smart. Don't grab him too early. But I do think he's an impact player. I do believe that they'll make that happen. So let's move on to, I'm just going to do one question for each team. I know there's a ton of questions for some of these teams. I get it. We'll discuss a whole lot more as we go into detail on different players and different things. But for today, we'll just do this. I want to do this. And maybe next week I'll do all-around division videos, okay? Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Miami Dolphins. And this is the one that I'm actually most interested in right here. Can Devontae Parker replicate his 2019 season? Probably not. I mean, I'm just going to be honest, guys. Probably not. Now, my question to that would be, are you saying will he do it with Fitzpatrick or will he do it with Tua? That's what I want to know. Because Tua's not going to put up a whole lot of passing yards his first year. So if you're saying Tua's going to be the starter, I don't think it's going to be Tua. I think Tua is going to give you a lot of like Dak in that first year where he had a couple thousand passing yards and about 1,000 rush yards. Tua would be a good starting quarterback, a good second quarterback on your team if we knew he was starting, but he's still coming off that injury. So the question to me is with Devontae Parker is who is the quarterback? Now, if the Dolphins come out and say, hey, Fitzpatrick's our quarterback this year, we're going to rest Tua like everybody did with Mahomes, then yeah, Devontae Parker becomes my at least wide receiver 2. I could see Devontae Parker going off because remember, Fitzpatrick came in and made him that good. And the thing is, it's not that they're a good team with Fitzpatrick because they're really not. They're really not a great team with Fitzpatrick. Nobody's a great team with Fitzpatrick. But what they are is they're a good passing team. Fitzpatrick, he might throw 3 or 4 interceptions a game, but he's going to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns too. He's going to throw that deep ball. So that's the thing. He's gonna sling the ball. There's no doubt. And they're going to be playing from behind because their defense is good, but they're not all together yet. And they're still going to be a team that's still building out of the draft. So I could see them letting Fitzpatrick play and letting Tua sit. If something happened to Fitzpatrick, maybe Tua starts. But as of right now, that's my answer. You would have to monitor with the Dolphins. You're going to have to monitor who the quarterback's going to be because we don't know. So if it's Fitz, yes, Devontae Parker's the guy. If it's Tua, no, he's not the guy. I don't think that Tua's going to give him that much play. I think maybe you'll see Preston Williams perform too. Preston Williams went out for a lot of that time when Devontae Parker was going off, and Preston Williams came on strong until he got hurt. So I'd much rather grab Preston Williams really late, and I'm not losing anything there. So, guys, I would avoid Devontae Parker as of right now, just because the quarterback situation there is so wishy-washy right now. I wouldn't touch it, okay? And he's going really high in drafts. He's going round 4. Devontae Parker, round 4. I don't trust that at all. I was kind of hoping with the Dolphins, I was kind of hoping that maybe Myles Gaskin would get his shot, and then they went and got Breida and Howard, and that kind of just ruined my theory on Gaskins. Now, I don't know if I trust Breida or Howard. So I still would say Gaskins is a guy that's going to be a sleeper, and he's going to be a guy that you're going to get off waivers. You're not going to draft Gaskins, but you still need to watch him because he's going to be a guy you can get off of waivers. I do believe that. I don't trust Howard, and I don't trust Breida to stay healthy. I don't trust him to really play. Not saying you can't predict injury, guys. Nobody can. You cannot predict injury, but what you can do is you can study trends. That's always remember that. Just because I say I don't trust that somebody's going to stay healthy, that doesn't mean they're going to. I'm saying they're going to get hurt. What it is, I'm just saying that off of their history, I don't like it. I don't like my risk I'm taking there. So the next team, this is the one that everybody's going to want to hear about. There was some questions here, and these were, I think these questions, maybe they got submitted before this week, but let's talk about the Patriots. Let's talk about Cam Newton. What impact does Cam Newton have on the Patriots? Cam Newton affects everything. What impact is one word answers that? Everything. And this is the deal with them. I would definitely, guys, I would watch I would watch N'Keal Harry because he's got that size and that length. And he could really help Cam become a guy that, he could really help Cam be that 50-50 target guy. And I know, I get it, guys. Everybody's looking at me like, why are you so happy about N'Keal Harry? I love second-year receivers, and N'Keal Harry dealt with his injuries. He dealt with his injuries. They let him get healthy. He's going to come back strong, guys. Just give him some time. I like N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry goes undrafted. So it's not like I'm telling you guys to go get him 5th round. I'm saying he goes undrafted. You watch where he goes. Do some mock drafts. You'll see. He goes late. You can get N'Keal Harry very late. So, guys, that's where I stand with Cam. I think that, James White becomes a factor again. James White is a guy that I would, I've actually watched where he's been going. I mean, he's going after the 10th and 11th rounds in drafts for 12-team drafts. 12-team mocks. He's going after the 10th and 11th round. He's, he puts up numbers every week. Why would you not go get him? I just don't understand where this comes from, where people just don't like James White. But he's a pass-catching running back. That fits with Cam. Cam has done well with pass-catching running backs. If Cam is healthy, guys, remember, if Cam is healthy, he has never finished less than QB5, never in his career finished less than QB5 when healthy. When he's played 16 games, he has finished in the top 5 of quarterbacks every time. So Cam Newton becomes a guy that you could draft late as a backup quarterback. He brings James White into the factor, and maybe Sony Michel. Sony Michel, if he stayed healthy, but Sony Michel's always hurt. And also N'Keal Harry. I'm not a big fan of Edelman. I don't really trust Edelman. You could get Edelman, but I don't trust it. I know that he meshed well with Brady. I'm not sure that he meshes well with Cam. So I would lean more N'Keal Harry there. That's just me. So the next question, this is going to be one that is, this is going to be so tough to answer, but I do think that this helps, and he is starting to rise in my mind. He's starting to rise. He hasn't happened in mock drafts yet. So if you're drafting this weekend, you might could get him later than expected. The New York Jets, and I would talk about Sam Darnold. I don't think Sam Darnold's the answer in New York. I haven't seen anything. Nothing has shown me that Sam Darnold is the guy. He missed half the season last year for the mono. Half the season for mono. Now, maybe it's legit, I don't know. I have no experience with mono, and I'm not a doctor. So I'm not gonna down the guy because of that, or downgrade him because of that specifically. But man, this is the NFL. You're going to have to tough it up. You're going to have to play. And if Sam Darnold if he can't stay healthy and if he can't play, I don't trust him and I don't want him. That would be me if I'm a manager, okay? You gotta pick it up. You are a first-round quarterback. You're a first-rounder, and we're still making excuses. Dude, it's too many. Year 1 is an excuse. Year 2 is, a learning curve. But after that, everything you do wrong is on you. That's not on anybody else but you. If you can't fix yourself, then you're not a professional. And professionals have to learn how to pick it up and go. If Sam Darnold takes off this year, kudos to him. I think it's great, but I don't see it, and I'm not going to touch Sam Darnold. However, the question that was been asked, and it's been, it's going to be something I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are wondering about, is will Le'Veon Bell improve with the O-line? I think so. I think he does. With caution, draft him round 4. Le'Veon Bell, guys, what we have to remember with Le'Veon Bell, he was getting wide receiver 2 targets in Pittsburgh. So when you're looking at now he was behind Antonio Brown, but they had other receivers there. They've always had a good second receiver, and he was still getting more targets than the good second receivers. Can Sam Darnold give Le'Veon Bell the same amount of targets he got in Pittsburgh? I don't know. I don't know if Sam Darnold's going to be healthy. Do we know that? I don't know that. Maybe you know, but I don't know because I haven't seen it. So I don't know. You guys, if you know that Sam Darnold's going to be healthy, comment and let me know. Hey, you're wrong. He's going to be healthy because of this, because of that. But bring evidence and show me why. Because I can't go off feelings and emotions. I can only go off of what I know and what I've seen. And from what I've seen, Sam Darnold's not healthy. So Le'Veon Bell's run game is definitely going to increase because of the O-line. It'll definitely help hit the run game, for sure. Their O-line has gotten great. It's gotten a whole lot better. I would say great, but it's gotten better. And Le'Veon Bell still put up enough to be an RB3 for you. If you're getting him round 4, he could still be your RB3 if you draft the right way, a.k.a. draft kit, then you could do that. You could get him in round 4 and have him as your RB3. And that's a perfect RB3. Because also, people are going to get nervous, and they may look at that name and trade you somebody like a Jonathan Taylor in week 1 when he doesn't perform. Because it's a high possibility Jonathan Taylor does not perform for the first 3 weeks. Jonathan Taylor is going to be one of those guys that you're going to have to hold on tight, have a little faith in him, and don't start him for a week or 2 and let him kind of work into the system, But once he gets his carries, it's game over for him. He's going to take off and kill it. But maybe you missed on Taylor, you grab Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell goes off week 1, and you could trade him for Taylor, And then you got an easy top 5 running back guaranteed. If something happens to Le'Veon Bell, it wouldn't matter for you anymore because you already traded him off. I think Le'Veon Bell is a good target after either round 4 or later as an RB3. Don't get him as your RB1, RB2. But RB3, yes. I do like him there. So let's talk about the AFC North, guys. Well, the AFC North has a really cool situation here with the Ravens, and that's going to be Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins. I really like J.K. Dobbins. I think that J.K. Dobbins takes over from Mark Ingram. I think that a guy that breaks all of Zeke's records in college, that guy is going to take over and be the guy. So, guys, I'm highly suggesting everyone grab J.K. Dobbins. If you want to feel nice and warm and fuzzy, grab Mark Ingram early as your RB3, and then grab J.K. Dobbins as your RB4. But J.K. Dobbins he's going to win that competition. I get it. Justice Hill's there and Ingram. I know. J.K. Dobbins has the talent, guys. He's got the talent. Just don't get him too early, RB4, RB5, don't get him too early. Yeah, after round 10, you can still get Dobbins. He's went later than that. If you're in a 10-team league, Dobbins is probably going to be there at round 12 or 13, maybe later than that. So you're not going and getting Dobbins in the 3rd round. Please don't. Please don't. The only rookie this year you should be touching in the first 4 rounds is Jonathan Taylor as your RB3, maybe RB2, okay? That's the only rookie running back. I'm not touching Edwards-Helaire. I get it. I like Edwards-Helaire. I'm a Louisiana guy. I should love Edwards-Helaire. I like Edwards-Helaire, but even though I'm biased to LSU, I'm not biased in fantasy football, and I'm not going to give you guys biased opinions when we're talking about winning fantasy leagues. I don't trust Edwards-Helaire. I don't trust it. He could go off. And I'm not saying he's garbage. Just, guys, I'm not going to come out here and tell you a player's garbage. We're not going to disrespect the players, and there's no purpose in that. That solves nothing. But at the same hand, maybe Edwards-Helaire proves me wrong, but we don't have a good track record from LSU running backs with injury histories. And he's been banged up in college. We have Fournette and we have Guice. Guice has still not hit the field yet. Guice made it through a half a game last year. That's it. He made it through a half a game. It's the second quarter. I don't trust it, guys. I'm not going to mess with it. And there's so many running backs there that you can't mess with that. You can't trust that. There's no way. The next team is going to be the Bengals. And what do we expect out of Joe Burrow? I expect Joe Burrow to be in a learning curve. That's what I expect. I don't expect Joe Burrow to put up massive numbers. I do expect Joe Mixon to get a massive boost. I think Burrow leans on Mixon to make a lot of dink and dunk plays for him, but I don't think Burrow's going to do a whole lot of massive work. I think he's still going to produce you some good players. Burrow is not going to produce massive numbers for himself. He's still going to produce numbers for Mixon and maybe A.J. Green. And I also heard about Higgins today. I seen somebody made a post. One of my buddies made a post about T. Higgins. I don't dislike T. Higgins, guys, but here's the deal. Higgins was the product of a system. He had an excellent quarterback in college, and, with that excellent quarterback, he got a lot of passes and he got a lot of play. But the problem with Higgins was T. Higgins never put up massive numbers against major defenses. The big defenses, he would put up 30 and 40 yards. You can't trust that. Coming into the NFL, man, what are you going to do? You're going to put up 30 yards every time you play a defense? Well, you'll never have any fantasy points from him. So I think Higgins could be a good receiver. I just think Higgins needs some time to develop. This team with the Bengals is going to be a developing team. I do believe A.J. Green helps Joe Burrow and makes some big plays, and he's a guy you could get as a wide receiver too, pretty late. I suggest Green, and I suggest Joe Mixon as an RB2 in the second round. That's what I suggest there. I wouldn't touch Burrow, guys, because of the fact that I think you're going to see some interceptions there. I think there's going to be an adjustment period with Burrow. There was an adjustment period in college, and I know everybody thinks that Burrow just came in and was killing it. He wasn't. I'm an LSU guy. I've watched him. It took him some adjusting to get used to the speed of the SEC's defenses. Their defenses are pretty solid. It took him some time to get used to that speed. The game speed of of SEC defenses is totally different. And we watched him, and this past season with him winning a championship, that shocked me. Because from what I seen of him, I was like, he's good. It's not that he's bad, but, it wasn't promising. I didn't see promising work from him. And then he stepped his game up. So Burrow will be good at some point in the NFL. I don't think it's this season. I think that this season, this is a season that he's going to be adjusting. You're going to be able to get points from A.J. Green as a wide receiver too. And Joe Mixon's going to put you up RB2 numbers, maybe RB1 numbers some weeks. Just for the fact that Mixon's got the talent, and they got an upgrade at quarterback. It may take them a while to get him into the system, but it was an upgrade. So the next team, we've already talked a little bit about the Browns. I'm not going to go too far with the Browns. One major question with the Browns is Odell Beckham. I'm going to say avoid Odell Beckham. Maybe you get Odell Beckham late. I've seen him falling down draft boards. If you get him late, get him. I would much rather have Landry because even last year with Beckham there, Landry still put up 1,200 yards. He's still going to put up his yards, and he's still going to give you solid fantasy production. So if you want to grab somebody from there, if you see Landry down there as a wide receiver 2 or 3, grab him. He goes late. He goes into the 7th, 8th rounds. You can grab Landry. You're getting more production from Landry than Beckham. So you might as well grab Landry late. I don't understand. I know that Beckham was always a great player. After he broke his leg, we never seen the same style from him, and I just don't think his body is as well held up as he wants it to be. And I like Odell. He's a good guy. He just well, I don't know. I don't know his personal life. I'm not going to get in there. But I know that when I go to like LSU games and stuff, he's always around the crowd and he's always having fun. And he's always nice to fans, but outside of that, I don't think he's the same player he was whenever he first came into the league, and I think the age has caught up. So I would avoid him right now, and I would go Landry. The last team in that division is going to be the Steelers. Um, Juju Smith-Schuster. Avoid it. Just avoid it. I'm not touching Juju. I like Juju. Let's see what he can do. I'm avoiding it. Get yourself Deontay Johnson. You know, Deontay Johnson showed he can catch the ball. He can play. Get yourself a Deontay Johnson in the last few rounds. Save that pick for something more important. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. Let's go to the AFC South. The Houston Texans. David Johnson. That's the number one question. I like David Johnson where he's falling. You're able to get David Johnson as an RB3. Back him up with somebody good at an RB4. You know, maybe a Cam Akers or somebody that's that's risky, but you know, is kind of in a good role. Do that. Just back him up right. You can grab David Johnson as your RB3. Go ahead and get him. I don't have a problem getting David Johnson this year as an RB3. So I'm not going to sit here and just harp on that. I mean, it's, you know, we know who he is. We know his potential. If you grab him as an RB3, good. Don't grab him high. Don't go grab him in the second round. That's crazy. That's insane. Just grab him in the fourth round as your RB3. We're going to go to the Colts. I've already talked about this. Jonathan Taylor. Guys, RB2, RB3, grab Jonathan Taylor. Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, this one is DJ Chark. DJ Chark is going to be a product of the quarterback play around him. If Minshew can come on, DJ Chark is going to be a guy that will be your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. You can get him later on. Just don't get him in those first 6 or 7 rounds. Get him after round 6 or 7, probably around 7 or 8. You know, late 7 on down. That's where you can go get DJ Chark. Don't kill yourself to grab him. He's not going to be a guy that I want to grab that early. Over here I'm trying to teach people to load up those running backs. Don't worry as much on the wide receivers. We can always get good wide receiver play later. If you see Chark though and you really love him, you know, the potential is there. He's proven he's got the potential. Just don't draft him so early that you can't recover from that, okay? So next is going to be the Titans. My guy with the Titans that is most probably interesting to me is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is rising up draft boards. He's a wide receiver 1. As of right now, he is a wide receiver 1. Unless he proves differently, I would take him as a wide receiver 1. That may be considered a hot take to most, but it's not for me. If you understand where I'm coming from, if you don't get yourself one of those top 10 receivers in the first 2 rounds, just hold for round 4. Grab 3 running backs, hold and grab A.J. Brown in round 4. Let him be your your wide receiver 1. That is the guy to get at that round. That's what I suggest everybody do. All right, let's move on to the AFC West. Denver Broncos. Drew Lock. I've talked some about him. Drew Lock is definitely falling all the way to the last round. You can get him as your backup quarterback. Make sure your bye weeks don't clash, but I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail here. He's going to be a good backup to have. He's definitely worth picking up. They got the talent around him. You know, you've loaded up talent there with Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Melvin Gordon, Noah Fant. Noah Fant's another guy. Grab him. You grab him as your tight end 1 late, really late in the last 3 or 4 rounds late. So grab Locke, maybe Fant later. I wouldn't touch Gordon, Sutton, Jeudy. just because of where they're going. They're going so early. I wouldn't mess with it. I wouldn't mess with it because even with Gordon, you still got Phillip Lindsay, you still got Royce Freeman. Just too many question marks there. But the quarterback play is definitely in a good situation. So grab yourself Drew Lock late and have him as your backup. Not as your quarterback one. Just grab him as your backup late, last round. All right. Kansas City Chiefs. My favorite player. Let's go there. Who is your favorite player there? Easily, I mean, anybody's going to say Mahomes. My favorite player is actually Tyreek Hill. The fear with this is the bad with Tyreek Hill. Let me get the bad out of the way. We'll do bad news first right now. This is going to be an awkward season. So guys with potential of hamstring injuries, Coach Higgins had said earlier, it said the other day, those are the guys to beware of. I do believe in Tyreek Hill. I think he's going to have a good season. If you want to get Tyreek Hill in the first round, if you can get Tyreek Hill, if you're a late first round pick and early second, and you know for a fact you can get Tyreek Hill and Josh Jacobs off the bat, Tyreek Hill needs to be your wide receiver one. Just simple as that. Because you're not going to get Michael Thomas that late. You know, I mean, I know everybody's going to say, well, what about Michael Thomas? What about... You're not going to get Michael Thomas that late. You might get Davante Adams, but I don't trust Davante Adams this year. I don't know what's going on there. Aaron Rodgers is a great backup this year because he's going so freaking late. But I don't know what to do with Adams this year, but I know where Tyreek Hill stands, and I know if I get him, he's going to get targets. So he gives you that boom target to go with all three of your solid running backs, and that's the perfect combination. See, guys, fantasy is about combinations. You want to win? Combine the right players together. It's not as much about, who's got the team with the biggest names. It's all about combinations. And this is what, my draft guide features a heavy running back combination, and that's what I suggest everybody do. Heavy running back. I'll give you other options that I like if you wanted to go wide receiver happy, but I don't because you'll never get the running backs to replace it. So, guys, if you want to get Tyreek Hill, get him first or second round as your wide receiver one. Next is the Las Vegas Raiders. And the number one thing with the Raiders right now, I talked about it a few minutes ago, Henry Ruggs. That's a question that's not getting answered and not getting asked enough. I mean, we know Josh Jacobs is an RB1. Does Derek Carr keep his job? I don't know about that. I guess they don't have another option. If you start looking, I'm not sure that they have another option. So Carr's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there long. I really don't. But Henry Ruggs might get him extended. So, guys, grab Henry Ruggs as a late wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. Probably more or less in wide receiver 5. And you can get him in the last round. And so the Chargers, here we go with the Chargers, Tyrod Taylor. Look, avoid the Chargers this year. Avoid it. Everybody's going to stack the box against Eckler. I'm not surprised. I'm not, amazed with Eckler because of the fact that they had so many weapons, and Rivers is a quarterback that you can't just allow to throw the ball. Now, if you put Tyrod Taylor there, teams are just going to be ready for the run game. So, avoid the Chargers at all costs. I'm not touching the Chargers. Because everybody's just going to play the run game, and you really can't trust Taylor's arm. We'll see. If they make a change at quarterback, we might come back on and talk different. But as of right now, no. Dallas Cowboys. Will CeeDee Lamb provide fantasy value? CeeDee Lamb is a first-round pick at number 17. He's going to provide value. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a wide receiver 3 for you to start the year. You could plug him in as a flex to start the year. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with CeeDee Lamb in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb's going to take over that wide receiver 2 responsibilities. And I'm going to tell you now, that with Cooper's injury history and Michael Gallup, these two guys, all the drops from last year and all the injury history with them two from last year and the years before, they already gave CeeDee Lamb number 88. That's the superstar wide receiver number for Dallas. It's always been the superstar wide receiver jersey number. The team gave him 88. He didn't even request it, nothing else. The team gave him 88, and Des Bryant said, I'm glad he got it because he's that good. Guys, he's going to be a monster. Get yourself CeeDee Lamb late. You can put him on your bench as a wide receiver 4, and you don't have to worry. You don't have to stress. He's there. You're going to have him. If he doesn't start, you don't start. That's okay. But he's going to be a guy that you're going to be plugging in your flex. He's going to be a guy you might be plugging in as your wide receiver 1 before the end of the year. Go ahead and get him. He's going to perform. New York Giants, we know Saquon's there. I'm not going to say Saquon's going to do bad. He's not. He's going to be a top 5 running back, top 3 running back. I'm avoiding Saquon again. I don't know what to expect. The first season he had, his rookie year, he got banged up. We almost lost him. And then last year, his sophomore year, he actually does miss a bunch of games. Now, here we are. This is year 3. What do we know? We know that he wants a contract extension soon, but he's got a 5-year deal, so he's not just automatically going to get it this year. So expect Saquon to play a lot better than last year. Offensive line has been built up. Garrett's going to build up an offensive line. You could grab. If Saquon's up there, if you miss, I put Saquon behind Zeke and McCaffrey, and the reason is I don't like that, man. I don't like the fact that he barely held up for his rookie year, and he didn't hold up last year, and so here we are with another running back that we don't know. He's got all the talent in the world. Saquon's a monster running back, but a young quarterback. Not a guarantee that he's going to put up numbers, man. So, guys, tread with caution. Don't grab him first pick. Grab him 3rd or later, but don't grab him first overall. Grab him with the number 3 overall or later. Keep him behind Zeke and McCaffrey for sure. Maybe he might jump over McCaffrey. We'll see. Maybe he's number 2. I think Zeke's number 1 because you're going to get the guaranteed numbers from Zeke. I don't like that you don't always guaranteed with McCaffrey, and I do believe that's my fear with McCaffrey is the unknown. I know with Zeke we've had 4 seasons now, and all 4 seasons he stayed reasonably healthy. He's gotten in trouble and missed some games, but he's never gotten hurt. He's never been hurt, so I can trust that Zeke will be on my team every week. And every week he's going to give me 15 points, I'll take that. So, tread with caution with Saquon. I still like Saquon. He's still good, but just tread with caution. Watch out. Watch out for what they do with that offensive line. Okay, and now the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz. Guys, this never ends well. When you tear up both knees, it never ends well. And there's never an athlete that tears up both knees and comes back full force. We've seen this with NBA players, we've seen this with NFL players. When you tear both knees up, it's never a guarantee that you'll ever come to form, and now he's got the back problems to go with it. So, leave him alone. Just don't waste your time with Wentz, guys. Don't waste your time there. The next team, this is the guy, man, this is one of those guys that is going to be interesting, man, because I'm predicting that he's going to go off, man. I like him. I think he's going to go off. I think with the team that they've put around him and they're steadily building, he's going to have a good season. I say go off. He's going to have a good season though, and that's Dwayne Haskins with the Redskins, or well, maybe not the Redskins anymore. But I'm not going to get political, so we're not going to go there. But Dwayne Haskins, man, he's got talent all day long, and I wonder if they have the ability to pull that out of him. Can you pull that talent out of him? Can you make him that guy? I think they can. I think they will. I'm gonna say Dwayne Haskins, guys. He's gonna go undrafted. He's probably gonna sit on your waivers. You don't gotta draft him right now, but guys, don't let him sit for long. I'm just warning you. If you miss on a bunch of guys and you're like, I gotta have a third quarterback for a 2-quarterback league or whatever the case may be, and you see him, and it's between him or some other quarterbacks, grab him, man, because he's worth the pick, man. He's worth an opportunity. He's worth an opportunity. He's gonna be good, man. He'll be good. He'll pick it up. They're putting the teams around him, and you got Terry McLaurin there. I love Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is a wide receiver 2 in my books, and you can hate me if you want to, but he's definitely a wide receiver 2 in my books because I can get him late, and Terry McLaurin can go off. Terry McLaurin does not care who he's playing. He's in your face, and he's ready to play football. I love it. I love it. That's what you want. What else do you want from your wide receiver? You want an aggressive guy that not only can be aggressive and talk and kind of get the game going, but then he can put up the numbers to show. So I like that. Next, we'll talk about the Bears. David Montgomery. Let's go. Let's go easy with Montgomery this year. Last year, I thought Montgomery was going to be the guy, and I think half the world thought Montgomery was the guy, especially with that offensive line, with the coaching staff. You figure Nagy would know how to run a top-end running back, and for some reason, all of a sudden, Nagy lost his mind. We're over here throwing outlet passes to a guy who is leading the league in drops, getting the ball picked off, dropping the ball. I mean, no more of that mess. So if Montgomery can take off, he's going to be a monster, guys. Where you're going to get Montgomery, you're going to get him a little later. Get him a little later. Don't worry about it. Just get him a little later. Don't go get him early. RB3, RB4 potential. I would more or less want him as an RB4. Like I was saying about if you picked up David Johnson as your 3, you could grab Montgomery as your 4. One of the two is going to have a good season. One of the two will have a top 10 season, and it'll put you above neck and shoulders above most of the teams in your league. So yeah, I grab him. Grab him late. The Detroit Lions. This is the one where it's this is the one that I'm gonna be most interested in. Let's see. Give me 1 sec. Let me get some stats for you guys. Let's see. This is the one that I like the most is DeAndre Swift and with the Lions. He's going to put up some good numbers. Let's see. I'll give you guys his college stats, and that'll kind of give you a definition of where he sits, as a player. Okay. So, on 196 carries, he had 1,218 yards last year. That's 6.2 yards per carry. That was his worst season as far as yards per carry. He had 6.4 and 7.6 the other 2 years. He's averaged 6.6 his entire college career. 7 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. That's 19, 18, and 17. And he can catch the ball, guys. He can catch the ball. He averages about 10 yards per catch. Kerryon Johnson has proven that he can't stay healthy. So why are we focusing on Kerryon anymore? Why are we doing that? Let's go, grab DeAndre Swift. You get him fairly late. You're not going to get him, you're not going to get him last round. You're not going to get him in the bottom 4 rounds. DeAndre Swift is going to go somewhere around round 8. Maybe a little sooner. You could get him as an RB4 instead of Montgomery. That's another option instead of going Montgomery. If you said I just don't trust Montgomery, I want a guy that's a little more trustworthy. That's a rookie I would get as an RB4. And maybe I'm gonna load up my running backs. I'm loading up running backs. I don't care if I have one wide receiver going into round 8. That's fine. If I got 4 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and a quarterback, I'm happy, and I can start picking off running backs and wide receivers. At that point, I can get one more running back late and just start slamming wide receivers and tight ends. That's cool. I'm not tripping. But if you don't get your running backs this year, you're in a bind. So go ahead and get them. I'm not worried about Kerryon Johnson anymore. He proved he had the talent and never proved that he could do anything with it. And that's what I fear with Montgomery. That's the caution with Montgomery. So the next team that I want to talk about here is the Packers. And the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, this is a guy that almost every year, annually, he is the top three quarterback. Now this year he's way off the board, guys, and this has happened before. And when it did, we were able to go get him late, and when we got him late, he put up massive numbers. So guys, go get your Aaron Rodgers. I'm not trusting Davante Adams this year 100% for the round he's going. If he was second or third round, if he was late second, early third, I would definitely be after Adams. But I'm not going to mess with Adams this year because of how high he's going. But Aaron Rodgers, most definitely. Grab Aaron Rodgers, and you can get him as your backup quarterback. If you go get yourself, an Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan combination, I get it, they're older, but one of the two is going to have a solid season, even if you win Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I mean, they're going to have solid seasons. They're going to put up your numbers, and you'll get your skill position guys and still get your quarterback points. You're not going to get the ridiculous 50-point games out of them, but who needs that? If you went and got Tyreek Hill and then 3 or 4 running backs and then grabbed Aaron Rodgers, you can get your 50-pointers out of Tyreek Hill. Don't worry about that. But that's what I would do, guys. I would focus more on getting these guys later. The next team is the Vikings. This is what I think about the Vikings. I think that Alexander Mattison is a solid late pick, just in case something does go wrong with Cook. I would leave Cook be. If I had, if Cook fell late enough, he fell to the right round, I might touch him. But I would leave Cook be. If you do get Cook, you better get Mattison. But I'm personally going to target Mattison as he's a last rounder. He's a late guy that just falls off the board every time. Go get Mattison late. If you got Cook, make sure you get him. I'm not going to go into major detail there. Next is the Falcons. This one's going to be, Todd Gurley question. Todd Gurley is worth an RB2, guys. Go get him as an RB2. If you went, a lot of times you can get him in the third round. If you go Josh Jacobs and Tyreek Hill later, you can still get him. So get Todd Gurley as an RB2, maybe an RB3, depending on where you're drafting. If you're drafting in the first couple picks, you're probably going to have to go 3 running backs. So you would be able to get your, Todd Gurley and another guy right there towards that next turn at the 2-3 turn. So that's what I would do there. The Carolina Panthers, maybe Bridgewater performs. I mean, that's all I got there. There's not a whole lot going on there that really needs a discussion right this second. Maybe Robbie Anderson. If you get Robbie Anderson is falling so far that if you get him as your wide receiver 5, get him. The New Orleans Saints, it's going to be the same situation as Cook and Madison. Get Latavius Murray late on into the draft, probably your last few rounds, and back up Kamara or get him in case Kamara goes down. Tampa Bay, the one person in Tampa Bay that's going to be interesting to me is going to be Ronald Jones. I'm taking Ronald Jones after round 12 as an RB4. So he's an RB4 or RB5 after round 12. I'm not touching receivers there. Tom Brady is a perpetually one of those guys that is going to sling the ball all over the field. So I don't trust Godwin or Evans to be a focal point. I wouldn't suggest you trust that. The next team is going to be the Cardinals. Guys, the Cardinals are going to be fun this year. That is going to be an incredible team to watch. I don't think they're going to be dominant. Like, they're not going to come in and just dominate everybody. I'm not saying that. They're going to be fun to watch because I don't think there's a team in the league that they can't compete with. I think they can compete with anybody. And that's not just something that you can say about any team. Why I say that is I don't think they're going to ever have a blowout game either side of the coin. I think that Kyler Murray takes off this year. I love Kyler Murray. If he falls to me where I know I can afford him, I'm getting him. I love Kyler Murray. I was itching last year to get him, and then he put up good numbers. Not great, but now you throw Nuke in the picture. I love it. avoid the running backs. Oh, guys, come on now. Can Kenyon Drake perform? Sure he can. He's always going to string together 4 or 5 games, but then he's nowhere to be found. And he's hurt, or something's wrong with him. It's this or it's that. It's the coach. It's this. When a guy has an excuse every season of why he didn't perform, I don't want him on my fantasy team. Keep him. I don't want him. So I don't like that situation. I think they might make a move there, but I don't know. Maybe Chase Edmonds kicks in. Edmonds proved to everybody he can play. I wouldn't be surprised to see a competition there. As far as running backs go with Arizona, leave it be. The next team is the Rams. The biggest competition with the Rams, we all know what it is. It's going to be Henderson versus Cam Akers. I think Cam Akers eventually takes over, but guys, I think Henderson will be the starter for at least half the season. If Henderson takes off, he's the guy. You're getting Henderson extremely late. What's going to happen in return with a lot of guys in your league? You can get Henderson late and grab him as your RB5, okay? What's going to end up happening is guys are going to get frustrated with Cam Akers if he doesn't take over the first 3 weeks and all they see is Henderson. And eventually a lot of guys are going to drop Cam Akers or they're going to trade him. So, guys, when you see, okay, you go grab Henderson and that's, he's the best running back, make sure you don't miss on a good talent to get him. But if you grabbed him as your RB5, and he's on your bench, and you see that Henderson's taken off, he's able to put up points, this, that, and the other, watch for any opportunity, even if you're trading off a QB2 or anything you could do to sneak in and grab Akers. If you could trade for him for cheap, great. If they drop him on waivers, even better. But watch for that because I do think that they'll eventually, at some point in the season, Akers will take over. But he's not going to take over week 1. They're going to put Henderson in the game. So I'm telling you now, watch Henderson. You can grab him late. Just get him and put him on your roster. He's a stash guy. Stash him and see what happens between him and Akers. If you can get Akers late enough to where it doesn't hurt your roster, get both. Get Akers and Henderson. And there's very few guys I'm going to say that. I don't like getting 2 players from one team. That's not a mission of mine. But we've got some awkward situations this year with all this testing and stuff. So with Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook and Darrell Henderson, all 3 of those guys, if you touch one, you got to touch both. Because we know their backup and we know what the potential is if one of them gets hurt. We know who's the guaranteed guy. And don't load up. If you're going to get one, don't get any of the other 2. You don't want 4 running backs on your roster that are only from 2 teams. You can do this one time. You can get Kamara and Murray, but then you're not going to touch the other two sets. You don't want to touch the other 2 sets at all. You leave that alone. So, the next team is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. This is one that you guys probably haven't heard a lot of people talking about. And I'm not understanding where people have gotten off track with this guy, why he's been forgotten. It reminds me a lot of Metcalf last year, how Metcalf just got forgotten and we never talked about him again. And then all of a sudden, oh God, guys, here's Metcalf. And now this year he's a wide receiver too. Easy. Maybe wide receiver 1 if you wanted to. This is Brandon Ayuk. Why have we forgot that Brandon Ayuk is a monster? Where is all the people talking about him? I'm so lost with some of this. Brandon Ayuk has proven to be a monster receiver, and he was on a bad quarterback team. So, guys, I'm suggesting everybody go get Brandon Ayuk in the last round, very last. Don't touch him early, very last round. Go get Brandon Ayuk and see what happens. If you're drafting in the preseason, if you're drafting right now before all these camps run through, if you're an early drafter, Get Brandon Ayuk while you can get him in the last round, because I guarantee you, when people start seeing his talent, he's going to jump up the board. Especially with Debo already guaranteed to miss 3 weeks. I don't see any other receiver there with his talent, and I know there's going to be people tell me I'm crazy. It's Pettis. It's this. No, Brandon Ayuk is the guy, and he's going to take over in that system. I guarantee you he will be there. And I know that Kittle eats targets, but Kittle also got hurt. And we have not seen a great trend with tight ends that get hurt. When a tight end gets hurt, you normally continuously get hurt. That's why Gronkowski has not been playing to his full potential. He was good up until he got hurt. When he started dealing with injuries, that was the end. And it's still, this year, I'm not touching Gronk. I love him. He could put up great numbers, and if he does, it'll just suck that I missed out on it. But you know what? I'm not going to take that risk because he's always hurt. I don't want to touch guys with injury risks. There's no sense in it. Just because you can jump through the fire don't mean eventually you won't fall in it. It don't mean eventually you're going to not fall in that fire. Jumping over the campfire. It sounds like a great idea, and it's fun, and it's cute till somebody falls in it. And that's what you're playing with when you play with injury guys. Because what happens is, it, and then when you do draft them and they do get hurt, then you're looking at yourself and you're like, what kind of idiot was I to draft this guy? Why did I even think this? And that's when it's happening with a lot of teams. And I know you may get burnt because you didn't get them. I'd much rather be burnt by a guy who's always been hurt and all of a sudden puts together one healthy season than be burnt by a guy I know has injury problems and I drafted anyways. That's fine. I can deal with that. So the last team, guys, on my list is the Seattle Seahawks. And I've kind of talked a little bit about it. We're going to talk about two guys here. Because there's one guy that I get some questions about here and there, and I know people want to know, and that's Chris Carson. Can you get Chris Carson as an RB3 and maybe RB4? That's going to be your question to ask yourself. When you're in your draft, if you could get him late and you like Chris Carson, you think he's the guy, yeah, maybe. Will I do it? No. I'm not touching him. Because I got better targets to get at that position. And I'm just not going to do it. Chris Carson had his year. I'm not impressed with him anymore. He could put up some numbers on me. He could Frank Gore me. He could LaShawn McCoy me. That's fine. But I'm not going to mess with it. Guys, I avoid that situation. This is another one where, we know that he can fall apart. And once they start doing that and they have 2 seasons where they've fallen apart on you, can't trust them. So, guys, leave it be. I would just leave it alone. Don't go there. If anything and you want to try to make a trade for him mid-season, go for it. And the other guy is Metcalf. Metcalf is going to be a stud receiver this year. Keep in mind, this is second year, guys. When you're looking at receivers for youth, second-year receivers are perfect guys. They're the perfect guys because they always seem to boom in year 2. So, do you believe in DK Metcalf is your first question. I do. If you do, then guess what? The second question is an easy one. Do you believe you should draft him as a wide receiver 2? Of course we do. Of course. I may grab him as my wide receiver 1 in some drafts. If it's a big enough league and I had to, I wouldn't mind it. It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. But, guys, that's what, that's how I would look at DK. I think DK can put up solid numbers with Wilson. I know Lockett's there, but DK's the guy, okay? DK's going to be the guy. Lockett's always, he's always going to put up his numbers, but I trust DK. So, guys, that's the entire league. I wanted to go over every single team and ask, the major burning question, from each fan about those teams. And the most commonly asked question from each fan. That's what I wanted to do today. And so, basically, I want to do that and also give the fantasy perspective. And so maybe you guys, I think every Friday or every so often I'm probably going to do this. I want you guys to understand that I'm coming from a fantasy perspective of where I'm drafting and where I'm taking players. You know, I don't want guys to think that I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, this guy sucks, that guy sucks." No, I'm never gonna sit here and tell you that players suck, and I'm never gonna call a player a sucky player. That's stupid. If I'm not, I'm not stupid enough to think I'm gonna go get in a fist fight with one of these guys and win. you know, anybody's running around calling these guys sucky and this and the other. Guys, chill out. It's fantasy football, guys. So I want to give you guys opinions from detail and give you guys, where I think to get them. I try to detail every opinion because there is a place for every player. No matter who they are, there's always a place where I would draft every player. So guys, when I say I wouldn't touch a guy, and then I give you a round where you could touch him, that's probably where I would touch him if I had to. If I had to go grab a player, I don't know, Sony Michel. Sony Michel, if he falls to me in the last round, I might grab Sony Michel. Who knows, Um, but that's it. You don't want to grab guys at their ADP who are not going to perform to their ADP. You want to grab guys at their ADP who are going to outperform their ADP. Josh Jacobs, that's an example. So, anyways, guys, I just want to get a quick video out, kind of teach y'all some of this, and let me know what you guys think in the comment box, guys. Thank you for watching Fantasy Football Grind Time.